Hi, my name is Sarah Clucas, and this is my vocal cool down protocol video. Today we're going to start with some box breathing to kind of get everything to a relaxed state. So, to be able to do that, we're going to inhale through our nose on a 4 count. We're going to be aware of the sensations of our lungs filling up with air all the way down into our abdomen. And then at that point, we're going to do a slow count where we hold the breath to 4. And then after that, we're going to release the air on an exhale for another slow count of 4. And we're going to focus on the feeling of that air leaving the lungs and having areas of tension start to relax. You could think of things like areas of tension in your neck, your shoulders, upper back, lower back, jaw. So this is how we're going to do it. Step 1, we're going to take our inhale on 4 counts. Then we're going to hold for 4 counts. And they're going to exhale on 4 counts. Then at the point that we exhale, we're going to hold it again with no breath inhalation for another 4 counts. So we're going to be pausing for 4 counts until we do the round again. We're going to do that 3 to 4 times. For this video, I'm going to do it twice for an example. So we're going to take our breath in. Going to hold. Going to exhale. Hold again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Then we're going to hold. Great. So hopefully you can do that as many times as you need or as slow as you would like, depending on the way that you manage your breath flow. Thinking about relaxing the shoulders, getting the neck relaxed. At that point, usually I would go into tongue stretches. So we're going to do this. It can be from 1 to 2 minutes, however much that you need. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do our tongue out and downward motions, and we're going to hold it for 5 seconds. We're actually going to do that about 3 times. So we're going to hold it down. And then come back another time. Come back. Last one. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do another tongue stretch, and we're going to move it from the left to the right. Each time we move it to a side, we're going to hold it for 5 seconds. We're going to do this another time for three repeats. Here we go. Go back out. Same thing. Now we're going to go to the other side. Same thing. Then we would repeat that another 2 times. So that gives you the gist of sticking out the tongue and holding it. The other thing that I really like to do is doing a stretch to the tongue. This really gets to like my tongue root. And what we're going to do is we're going to place that tongue right behind the lower teeth. And then we're going to arch it out. And we're going to do that, and we're going to hold that for 5 seconds as well. So it's going to go like this. Rest. And then we're going to do that again. And then rest. And you can do that up to 3 or 4 times. The next thing we're going to do is about 2 to 3 minutes of stretch and massage. So the first thing that I usually like to start with is my neck. That's where I carry a lot of my tension, my neck and my upper shoulders when I'm performing or singing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a head tilt. So I want you to think about your ear, trying to get as far down towards the shoulder as you can. One thing to be careful of is to not raise your opposite shoulder when you're doing this. So I'm going to start going to my right. We're going to hold it for 10 seconds. So you're going to go down. Try to keep that shoulder down. Mine likes to follow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do it to the other direction as well. If that feels really good and you feel like you're having a lot of tension there, you can always hold it for longer than 10 seconds. I usually go back and forth and repeat it a few times so I end up getting a fuller stretch. The other thing that you can do for this is whenever you go down, you can also use the hand on this side to kind of guide it. Don't put your weight on it, but just a way to guide down. So we're going to hold it for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can repeat that on both sides 3 to 4 times. Sometimes I will hold it even longer. I'll do that stretch and I'll hold it for 30 to 60 seconds, just depending on how much tension I'm feeling in that particular area. The other thing that I really like that I learned while I was going to physical therapy is a shoulder roll exercise that involves breathing and contracting some muscles and then feeling the release. So with the shoulder rolls, I'm going to talk through this. We're going to breathe in, and while we're breathing in, we're going to bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and then we're going to hold that breath and round our shoulders back and try to engage this back side, like we're going to squeeze back and down, so those trapezius muscles. You're going to hold that for 10 seconds. And then on your exhale, you're going to slowly bring your shoulders back to neutral and come back forward to a relaxed state. So I'm going to show that to you in one full cycle. I'm going to go to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So inhale up. Pull back. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale and relax. I really like that one because with the breathing and the holding and having that real tense feeling, when I relax, I start to kind of feel like that tension melting away in my upper back area. So you can do that. I would suggest 3 to 4 times. If you need it a little bit more, you definitely can. The other thing I would like to go into is neck and shoulder massage. So we're going to use like our fingertips. I usually use 2 or 3. And we're going to just use a gentle kneading motion in the neck and shoulders. I usually like to start like in my clavicular area and start moving there and going out. It's kind of hard with this letter. And then I will usually start back here behind my ears where that joint is right there. And we're gonna, there's a process bone there where all those muscles meet. So we're going to go right through there and we're going to just do gentle kneading motions. I don't put a ton of pressure right there. We've got a lot of vascular stuff going on. Your jugular, that's right. And so we want to make sure that we don't put too much pressure in that area because that could make you pass out or feel lightheaded. So I just move my way down. And then at that point, sometimes if my fingers feel like it's harder to get kind of to a point where I can get these shoulders, I will sometimes kind of use my knuckles in this way and kind of go down like that. And then we can do some circular motion this direction. And I would say if you have any spots that are kind of tender, hang out there for a little bit. You might do just a little bit more gentle pressure to kind of release that tension. I sometimes will move my shoulder around as well while I'm doing this. And then from there, I'm going to move into a jaw massage. I'm somebody who deals with TMJ disorder. So this is something that I am doing probably constantly 2 or 3 times throughout the day, even when I'm on a day that I'm not necessarily seeing a whole lot. So we're going to use 2 fingers starting at that TMJ. And we're going to do in circular motions. If you have a hard time finding that, put your fingers right in front of your ear. And when you open your jaw, you're going to feel that divot. And that's right there where I want you to start. So you're going to start there. And we're just going to do like a gentle up and down motion with our jaw. Going in and starting that massage on that masseter muscle. And then we're going to work our way down around the jawline. I do more of the up and down motion of my jaw opening, going downwards, and getting into that masseter. And you can even come in further in and do that, because when you go like this, you can feel that masseter muscle kind of, when you clench, pop out. So right there as well. And then from there, I usually go into using my thumbs here, starting right underneath my chin, and trying to do some massage under the jaw and getting that tongue root. So we're moving from the front to the back towards that hyoid bone that's above our larynx. I also sometimes come in this way, right behind, kind of like that L-shape angle from our jaw, and I go this way as well. I would repeat that 1 to 2 times. I usually need it more than that, because I really deal with those muscles tensing up because of the TMJ that I deal with. Okay, so the last kind of section of this is going to be the phonation section. So you can spend 2 to 3 minutes on this, kind of trying to get that voice cooled down some more. Starting with lip trills, I don't necessarily have any type of aim as far as pitch or range. I try to just go all through the range and just do some easy slides and glides. I'll sometimes tell my younger students, hey, use your arm. Let's go see if we can hit those low notes and come up kind of like a Ferris wheel, and go around in a circle. So here we go. The next time I try to make it a little bit more like the extremes. You might just go. And then the other one that we'll go into is like an actual pointed on pitches, ascending 1, 5, 1, do, sol, do exercise. And I would suggest, personally, I would work top down. So try to go from that middle range for yourself to the higher range and then come down. So I'm going to start where I feel like I'm starting to get my head voice sort of engaged, so I can come down into cool into my chest voice, closer to my neutral speaking voice. And just keep doing that. Find what feels good for you. Each voice is different. Your ranges are different. Your vocal use for the day is also going to be different. So whatever feels good for you. The next thing that I would suggest is some straw exercises as well. So I've got my reusable straw here that I usually use. We're also going to do something similar as the lip trills. We're going to do some ascending slides, and then we're also going to do some arpeggios. So remember, whenever you use a straw, we're going to have it pointed out away from us. We want closure around it, but we don't necessarily want those lips really engaged and pursed. So we're just going to do just some slides through it. The other thing that we can do are some ascending arpeggios. It's going to be a 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1 pattern. I find this really helpful, not only in cool down, but also whenever you're warming up, especially if you're trying to work through the passaggio and kind of get things blended, especially if you're having a harder day, where that passaggio just feels like it's giving you lots of fits. So I'm going to start kind of lower. At this point, I start getting a little bit more to that neutral speaking voice that I have. usually do it twice on the same note, or excuse me, on the same key of the arpeggio. And then we'll go down by half steps. And then from there, we'll just do some soft head voice descending scales. We want to make sure it's nice and light, nice and floaty. I use the vowel E when I'm on this, or oo. If you want to move to oo, just keep going to wherever it feels most comfortable for you. And that is my cool down video. I hope that was helpful.